All right, you're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Safiya on TV Gotel. We had an interview about the situation in Egypt and news recap with Aisha Ahmed. Now we're discussing vigilantism in Nigeria and what's the implications there for Nigeria. And we have Dr. Lionel VonFrederick Rawlins in the house here to discuss with us. You're welcome on the show, Lionel.
Thanks. Good to see you
Morning.
again.
Yes, and
Good
welcome
to
back.
see you again and welcome back. So,
Absolutely, I should say, Yayaiki.
Lafia. So how is the Middle East?
The Middle East is in turmoil, and it's going to be that way for a while because most of these, in my estimation, what I think from being there is all of these countries have a newfound freedom, and they don't know what to do with it. And again, there's an old saying that some people need to be ruled by dictators, and because that is the only thing that will keep them quiet and busy. You know, when Mubarak was in power, Egypt was doing well and was peaceful because he ruled with an iron hand. They got rid of him, and then they don't know how to handle the situation. So, and this is what's happening all throughout the Middle East now. I don't think anybody should be ruled by a dictator because everybody wants their freedom. But it's just like a child. If the child don't know how to behave, you have to put the child in a corner and put them in timeout. I think the Middle East just needs a good, strong
Knock on the
dictator.
head.
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody needs to go and do it. We need to bring back the bad guys and put them over there.
Now, the bad guys, when everybody's saying, oh, we just need democracy, we don't need dictators again. And then we're bringing in people like that to come and head places.
From what he said, some people just can't handle democracy.
Yeah. If we gave you a gun and you go around shooting people with it, we have to take the gun away.
Yeah.
Because you cannot handle it. If we gave you too much money and you start spending it unwisely, we have to take the money away. So if we gave you democracy and you can't use it, then take it away.
See, the perfect point there. He just made it very simple. If you can't handle it, you can't handle it. Yeah, take it away. Well, it is great to have you back. Great to see you here.
Great to see you in one piece.
I mean,
with all my ligaments.
Yeah. You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is she treating you well?
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, let me say.
Okay.
So now let's move over to vigilantism in Nigeria. Well, first of all, when we talk of vigilantes or vigilantism, what comes to your mind, or what should people understand by this word, vigilante?
Well, it's this is one of the reasons why Safiya educate people. See, I'm going to give you all an education about vigilantism. It is the word vigilante it's a Spanish origin.
Most of these words are Latin or Spanish origins.
English words, so just borrowed.
So a lot of people
they don't know.
They don't think of these things.
They don't.
But this one has, it's Spanish and Latin, and I'll tell you how.
Okay.
Spanish meaning it means a watchman or a guard, like a security guard. But then the root of the word has Latin implications, and it comes from the Latin word vigil, which means to be awake, alert, and observant. That's why people say, that's where the word vigilant comes from. So that's why people say be vigilant when you are in town or you're in a strange place. They want you to be alert and to be aware. But that is also where the word vigilante comes from as well. So in a roundabout way, the word vigilante means you are a watchman or security guard. And for the most part, in the people in villages and towns who perform the duties of the vigilante, that's what they do. And that's what they're supposed to do, be watch people, that watch over you, watch over the people who are inside sleeping. But things went wrong, people took advantage of it. So now a vigilante is, when you hear the word, taking the law into your own hands, is always referred to a vigilante.
Okay.
So therefore, a description of a vigilante is someone who is performing law enforcement activities without having to do legality of the law to do it. So you're taking the law in your own hands. You're acting as a police without being a police.
Which always has implications, definitely.
Definitely.
Because
implications of that.
it makes you not the law, but acting above the law.
You're acting above the law, yeah. You're not supposed to be doing these things.
Yeah.
It's
Even though it's
unlawful.
good, yeah.
It's unlawful.
To be a vigilante is not unlawful. Because what you're doing is performing services of a watchman as a security officer. That is not unlawful. What is unlawful is when you go out into the town and you cross that line and start punishing people for crimes that you think that are committed. And so the vigilante does not wait on
Trial.
They don't wait on the trial. They don't wait on the police to get
Yes.
there. They don't wait on the court. They will perform their own justice right there, right now. And if they feel as if you're the one who did it, just on their perception, then they can either beat you severely, or they can torture you, or they can kill you. And we know, just recently you all had some people who were thrown, you remember the video that went viral with the young kids who had the tires around them
the
and burned them to death?
Yes.
That is an example of vigilantism gone awry, gone bad.
Yes. Okay. So now, do these vigilante organizations do they reflect globalization?
Yeah, it's all over the world, you know. They call them different names. They call them Neighborhood Watch Program. In the United States, just not too long ago, a white man shot a young black kid, I think it was Trayvon Martin.
Yes.
Well, it's the same thing. He was a part of a Neighborhood Watch Program, in essence, vigilante. And he killed an unarmed black youth, and he said he was afraid for his life, that's why he did it. He got off in the trial because the law supported his assertion that, well, the law in Florida says if you think your life is in danger, you can kill the person, essentially, and that's what he did. But the whole country is now polarized and are at war with each other, between black and white.
Yes.
Because of that one act where one man killed another man because he thought the guy was a thief or a robber or a mugger. And this is exactly what's happening here. You just that in Nigeria you do it with impunity. If somebody gets into a car accident, the whole neighborhood will come out and beat that man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or if you it depends on your ethnic group, and if one assault on one person would mean the whole village will come after you.
Yeah, I think in Nigeria it's taking an actually different turn because a lot of people are feeling, okay, we call the security agents in time, they don't show up in time, and these things keep happening to us. So it's better we take laws into our own hands if they're not going to provide these laws for us. I think that's quite...
That is true. That is one of the ideals of why it is so fueled here in Nigeria. Anytime the people feel as if they do not have protection, they will protect themselves. Whenever they feel as if the police is not there for them or the police is corrupt, they will take the law into their own hands. Whenever they feel the government is not taking the interest to heart, they will take the law into their own hands. And that is exactly what is happening here in Nigeria. But the people are doing it with impunity, because you don't just kill one, many innocent people have been killed, and that is where it becomes a problem.
Now, are you saying these vigilante groups are actually formed because there's a vacuum between the people and the security agencies?
Exactly, there's a big vacuum. Very good point. I like the word vacuum because it's means vacuous.
Vacuous.
And it's a good word because that's exactly what it is. The people do not feel safe, and to support the security forces, Nigeria is so populated that it will take, there isn't any way that they can defend all the people. If you're out in a rural village, way out, and you're away from all the services of the security forces, you're on your own. So you're going to essentially have to create your own vigilante force to protect your people. But yes, there's a big vacuum that is causing and fueling this problem of vigilantism in Nigeria.
Okay, now one would say, what's the difference between vigilante and private security? Because, hey, we wanted to protect our community, we pick particular people from the community and say, okay, you be our watchtower in the community. You know, what's the difference?
Question. I never thought of that one, but it's a good answer to that one. A private security guard or officer will be trained. He would have had to go through some training by his employer or his outfit. So they have, and you know, a lot of these security outfits have some exotic names, you know, like the Mighty Redeemers, or
yes,
the Thunderings, the Thunders of Heaven, or something like that. And they will train you for a month or two, and then put you in a uniform, put you out there. So essentially, you're supposed to be trained. Whereas the vigilantes, they're not trained people. They're just people who are supposed to be a part of the community, protecting their community, taking turns, protecting their community. The problem again there is a lot of criminal enterprises sneak into it. A lot of people are there for racial and ethnic discrimination. A lot of people are there for the religious factors of it. So and then you have the political factors. So people join these vigilante groups not to protect anything but their own interest, or whatever it is they're after.
Okay, well, we'll be looking a bit more into the actions and behaviors of these vigilante groups, but we'll go on a short break. First of all, when we come back, the interview continues. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and we're talking vigilantism in Nigeria here, the implications. Here we are with Dr. Lionel VonFrederick Rawlins, and he's been giving us an insight on just how these vigilante groups behave, and now we're looking at the actions and the behavior of these groups. Could you just describe exactly how they act? I mean, because usually a vigilante group or vigilante has no rules, so they could tend to get a little out of hand when they're performing their sentences or dealing with cases.
Absolutely. Just think jungle justice. And whatever it is they do during, if you did something, just think the laws of Hammurabi, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Mm-hmm. This is essentially the action and behavior of vigilante groups. They're there. From vigilante, you get vendettas, and this is where you get vengeance, because it has morphed from protecting each other, from protecting the village, from protecting the people, to more now into vengeance.
Vengeance, yes.
And it boggles my mind that in one village, one group will attack another group and kill a lot of people.
One vigilante group attacking another vigilante
Yes.
group,
Or it doesn't even have to be a vigilante group. It could be just maybe
cults
a cult.
or something.
It could be normal average,
Yeah.
just like a herds, the people who have cows, the herdsmen.
Okay.
Somebody killed the cows, or several of the cows. If I were living in that village and I had a wife and children, I would have moved out, because it's you have to know that in a week or two
There will be reprisal
they're going to
attacks.
come back at
Definitely.
2 o'clock in the morning while you're sleeping and kill you. So but yet people still stay there and sleep, as if nothing's going to happen, and it goes back and forth. So it went from vigilante to protect each other to vengeance and vendetta, which is to kill each other. So there's no more protection. It's more, I'm going to come after you because you did something to me. And some of this has gone back for hundreds of years. Even back in the tribal days, no one can get along because it's like in Ireland. These people in Ireland, why there's no peace in Northern Ireland? Because 500 years ago, your grandfather, your great-great-great-great-grandfather killed mine. 500
yes.
years ago, are we still fighting over that today?
Which is quite irrelevant now. I mean, it's 500 years ago. So now, would you say these vigilante groups or vigilantism is legal or illegal?
No, it's legal. It's legal until you kill someone or you hurt someone.
Okay.
And you can do anything you want to do. There are no laws broken, you're okay. The moment you beat someone because you caught him stealing, and especially if you beat him so severely that he ends up in the hospital. Somebody might steal a loaf of bread, and the next thing you know, this man is in the hospital. So we expect that the punishment should fit the crime. If this man went to court for stealing a loaf of bread, they might have sentenced him for 2 weeks in jail or prison, maybe a month or 2, but he wouldn't end up in the hospital. And this is where, again, the lines become blurred, because if you out there killing people and murdering people, it's not good, and that's when it becomes illegal. Some places are calling for it to be outlawed anyways, and some people love it.
How would you rate it in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, it's bad. In Nigeria, you have two divided opinions about this. On one hand, there are people who want it to continue because they feel these people are performing a good duty and keeping the neighborhood safe. Some people even pay them money to keep the place safe and while they sleep at night. On the other hand, you have a group who want them to be disbanded, outlawed, because they feel that these people are out there murdering people, killing people. They think they're being misused by the politicians, by religious groups, and by economic enterprise groups like your criminal gangs and stuff. And so people want them outlawed. They don't care how good they are, just get rid of them. So in Nigeria, it is really divided between the populace. It depends on where you live, actually. Right here in Yola, they have little neighborhoods where you have their own vigilante groups where they pay them money to, maybe I should go look a job there.
Well, the question is, do we really need them in Nigeria? I remember when I was way younger, we had this vigilante group that came up from the east. They called themselves Bakassi, the Bakassi boys. I think they were just aggrieved with rate of armed robbery and killings and all that. So they went out hunting for these people. And now in the north now, we have another set of vigilante, I'll call them. We call them civilian JTF. They work with the JTF now and identify some of these insurgents and try to get them and arrest them and take them to the JTF. Now, do we really need this vigilante in Nigeria?
Yes, you do. There's nothing wrong with vigilante groups. The only time it becomes a problem is when they cross that line and start killing and hurting people. Like the Bakassi boys, from what I heard, there's some people who love them, some people who hate them.
No, at a point they were okay, but at the latter end it became something else.
They morphed.
Exactly.
They changed.
Exactly.
The things change. The situation changes you. There, everybody starts off with a good intention. You know, they said the road to hell is filled with is paved with good intentions, because everybody, we start off being, we really want to do well, and then something happens. Either you get greedy, or people pay you off to do things, and you change. So there's another group they call the Odua People's Congress. Yeah, these are almost similar to, they work for the Yoruba faction, but they're on the same level as the Bakassi boys. And then you have another group who they're more into the enforcing Sharia law and stuff like that. So everybody have their own little groups. But you strike an interesting point about the ones who help in the JTF. You don't need to be a vigilante group to do that. Usually, if there's a problem in your area and the law enforcement asks for help, you should say, I know this is happening, I know that is happening. You can do it. You should be able to do it as a common citizen to do it. The problem is people don't trust the military or the police that if I gave you this information, I'm going to be okay. So, and they don't want to do it. So there was some group of young people who did, and these people who are helping out the Joint Task Force, from what I was told, are bushmen. The guys who go bush hunting to kill bush meat, and they live out in the bush. They're not the usual citizens. I guess they became fearless and decided, I'm going to now help. And so now they're part of the casualties of war. So whenever they go after the Joint Task Force or the Army or the police, these guys are now got caught up in it. So they too are being targeted. So you have to weigh do I want to be a target, or do I want to be bold, or do I want to be stupid, or what do I do? You just have to, whatever action you take, there are consequences.
Yes.
So just weigh the consequences and see if you're willing to live with those consequences.
But what if I get to a point where I say, I've heard enough, I'm tired of this, it's better I do my own contribution to make sure that it's over with. It's not just about me, it's about people in my community, it's about children yet unborn in my community that will not see what I'm seeing now. I think possibly sometimes it's just like that. Maybe that's the idea. Somebody will join something like the civilian JTF. Now,
let me add to what you just said. That is exactly what happened with the civilian JTF. They had enough. They said enough is enough. Our lives have been impacted by this, the curfew, by the state of emergency. We can't go here, we can't go there, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm going to make a difference, even though I stand the chance of getting killed. So sometimes you have to stand up for your right. But just know that there are consequences. There are consequences of taking part, and there are consequences of doing nothing. So whichever one you want to live with and you think is fair for you or easy for you, you go for it. Most people, though, would stand up and fight, because in the end, it's the fighters who make a difference.
Exactly. I remember a quote by Wangai Maathai, famous African woman who was actually fighting. She was against, what do you call it? Desertification in Kenya, right. And she says the little things that citizens do make a difference. Our little thing is planting trees. Our little thing is talking to people about these things. Now,
that's true.
Earlier on, you said something about some people thinking Bakassi boys were actually doing the good thing, and other people doing the bad thing. Now, this vigilante group, some people actually see them as heroes.
Right. Some people think that they're heroes, and some people think Superman is a hero.
Yeah, of course.
Or Batman.
Batman's the best example. But some people
Yeah.
are always after Batman and trying to make him look bad.
Exactly.
He's not a
Superman,
hero.
they try to frame Superman
Yeah.
and Batman. But the fact is, there is a difference between a hero and a vigilante. A hero, if you want to use that word, is someone who is out there protecting lives and saving lives. He or she does not kill people indiscriminately. They won't stab you when you're down. They won't do the things to hurt or maim or destroy. They're more there to protect, and more than likely they usually get hurt while they're protecting. That is a hero, and they do things not because we have the same ethnicity or the same religion. A hero does not care what you are, who you are. He or she will do the right thing. A vigilante, they have their own agendas. Some of them are self-absorbed. Some of them might be crazy. Some of them may have the criminal intent. Some may have, they may just be looking for a death wish. Some of them may be filled with emotion and hate and anger and whatever it is. And they bring all of that to the table. And what happens is it comes out in the actions and the behavior with the hatred and discontent. So even though they might be protecting your property and protecting the community or protecting the village, the fact that you would beat a man to death just because you caught him stealing a loaf of bread doesn't make you a hero. It makes you a criminal. Now you are a criminal. Now we have crossed that line.
So that's where things kind of get out of control when an extreme and a criminal beating or catching criminals. You want to ask yourself what happens after all the criminals are caught. But the thing is, they're not all caught because those vigilantes are then criminals, and they're the last ones left. And then they take, they get power hungry and. Well, it's kind of extreme in Nigeria.
Then they become the Bakassi boys.
Exactly, and then they become a problem, and they become bigger criminals than the other criminals because they have nothing to fear, right? So now in Nigeria, how do you think, or what do you think has to be done to control this kind of problem, where the vigilante becomes, instead of a hero or instead of someone to, solve the problems in the community, they become criminals themselves or out of control?
I have the correct answer for that.
Great.
Yeah, see, I'm full of answers.
Let's hear it.
First of all, there are two things. One, every citizen of Nigeria have a constitutional right to a free trial, a fair trial, to be protected by the government and so forth. A man is innocent until proven guilty. So the government has got to protect the rights of all citizens, that even if he stole bread, even if he was guilty of stealing bread, he doesn't deserve to be beaten to death. That is just totally wrong. But at the same time, you have to respect the rights of people to protect themselves, their family, their homes, their villages. So now that you have to respect that, the rights of the people, now you have to also respect the fact that they need to be treated fairly by the Constitution. But to do that, you have to differentiate between the vigilantes who operate under the guise of jungle justice and the ones who do it the proper and legal way. You have to determine who's doing the right thing, who's doing the wrong thing. So the ones who are doing the wrong things, who are the jungle justice people who are killing people, killing innocent people who are not even involved in anything. You have to separate them. Use the ones who legitimately are working within the law and who are doing the right things to protect the people. Once you do that, you're going to have a society that is now devoid of all of this killing and hatred. The problem is the ethnicity. You're going to have to work with the ethnic problems that normally surfaces and show its ugly head. And until you do that, it comes from education. The older people they are already spoiled. They've already been indoctrinated with hatred. So we have to start molding the young ones.
Fresh ones.
The fresh ones.
The clear minds.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that when they get older, they'll look at mom and dad as, you crazy, I can't go and kill a man because we're not the same ethnic group. And you said, when I was a kid, I used to do that. You should say, no, Dad, we don't do that anymore. We're in the 21st century.
Yeah, we're civilized people.
I hope.
Well, that's it. It's definitely there has to be some sort of an eye on these vigilante groups to make sure that there's order. That means, and well, I think we've gotten quite a good deal of advice and information from Lionel this morning, as usual.
Yes, we have. I think we've gotten more than expected. Lionel always is on point, I'll say.
He's always on point. Always, definitely.
Say go, babe.
Thank you so much for being on the show this morning, Lionel. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And
Pleasure
once
to
again,
have you.
welcome back from...
You need to treat my friend
oh,
properly.
definitely. She's in good hands, great hands.
I hope you're putting me in good hands, Lionel.
I always do.
Okay.
Lionel knows what he's doing. Yes. Well, we still have more to come on the show. Coming up next, we have our sports news, sports update with Abdullahi. Stay tuned.